The corncrake, one of the few European birds on the world list of endangered species. The decline in their numbers here began early in this century, but accelerated in the 60s and 70s, so that by 1978 it was estimated that there were less than 1,500 corncrakes in Ireland. Things have got worse since then, and the Irish Wildbird Conservancy, with help from Rianta, the Wildlife Service and the World Wildlife Fund, are running a national survey to make a complete census of the birds and identify the most important habitats used by them.
Well, we want to find out how many corncrakes we have in Ireland at this stage. The corncrakes are endangered species now. It's estimated that there are only about 6,000 pairs of corncrakes left in Western Europe. So at this stage they're seriously endangered. There was a survey done in Ireland 10 years ago, and there's evidence that since then there's been a further decline in the numbers of birds here. So this year we're trying to census the whole country to find out how many birds there are and where they are. And we're also doing detailed work on their habitat requirements, which we hope will tell us something about why they're declining.
One of the reasons given for the decline of the corncrake population is the destruction of nests and young birds during the cutting of hay and silage. The Irish Wildlife Conservancy have asked farmers to cut from the centre of the field outwards to allow the corncrakes to escape. This is particularly important if a corncrake has been heard calling in the area.
There are corncrakes in at the moment. They're beginning to arrive in, and I've heard several reports of birds from the Shannon and from Mayo and Donegal. But we're starting the survey on the 20th of May because when corncrakes first arrive, they tend to move. They don't necessarily stay in the one spot. You can have a bird calling in County Wicklow for a few days, and then it'll move on and actually breed somewhere else in the country. So particularly information after the 20th of May is what we're interested in. A number of people are doing systematic coverage, which means that they agree to cover a 10-kilometre square or a number of squares, and they go out at night between midnight and 3 a.m. and stop at regular intervals and listen for calling corncrakes and record exactly where those corncrakes were. And we're also relying on information from the general public. So we want anybody who hears a corncrake this year to let us know where it was, how many birds they heard, what sort of field it was in, whether it was in rough grass or silage or a hay meadow, that sort of thing, and to send us in the information.
So if you want to help, listen out carefully for the call of the corncrake and let the Irish Wildlife Conservancy know if you hear anything, giving them as many details as possible. Your assistance could help to save from destruction one of the distinctive sounds of the Irish countryside.